Am I the only one who wants to have fun tonight?
Alright, so this video is basically a representation of what we think about cooking in Apartment 25 at Horn Avenue. And so I'll begin by saying that I personally think cooking is definitely going away, and that cooking is very important to our culture and it's important to how we survive. But more than anything, it's traditional, you know. And so I think it was great that Michael Pollan and the chefs and chef tables really focused on why cooking was important and how it's an art and not just a way of us eating, you know. Michael Pollan touches on how we've transitioned into a fast food kind of culture, and I think that's so important to understand, that we have such busy lives and that we're always moving, always going, but we should still look for those ways to incorporate cooking into our lives. And I think that's become a lot easier now that we have things like crock pots and just bread makers and things that can do it for us during the day so that we can continue to live healthy lives. I did my project too on healthy eating and why it's important to start that early on. Since cooking is starting to go away, it's important to go ahead and teach the later generations that cooking needs to come back and that it plays a huge role in how we eat and what we eat and our overall healthiness. I think cooking is important to myself because of the traditional aspect to our culture. I personally enjoy the tradition of cooking at my house. It can get a little stressful, actually. My mom can get a little intense in the kitchen, but I wouldn't trade that experience for anything in the world. There's a couple foods that are my favorite. Every year I ask for yams because they're my fave, and my family makes fun of me because I say yams and I can't really say it normal. And then we also always have banana pudding and deviled eggs at our family functions. Alright, Chrissy, what's it been like cooking since moving into Apartment 25?
So upon moving into Apartment 25, my plan was to go grocery shopping every week, cook every night, and that has not been the case at all. Being in school, it's really hard to, like you said earlier, get everything together and prepare what you're going to do. So since moving into Apartment 25, I've had a lot of takeout food. A lot of Boone takeout, lots of Zaxby's cookout, you know, general college stuff. But yeah, it's been really difficult to kind of keep a schedule and get everything that, you know, you need to cook and go grocery shopping when you're doing homework and school. So,
Would you say that you cook more than you did when you were in the dorm, though?
yeah, I do cook a lot more than in the dorm. It was really hard to cook in the dorm because we did not have a kitchen. So we have to like take all of our stuff to the kitchen, wash all of our dishes there. So being in an apartment makes that a lot easier.
Would you say you enjoy cooking?
I do enjoy cooking. It's one of my favorite things to do. I just
Don't
never
have
have time
for
to do it. So.
For sure.
Yeah.
So my family grew up in the rural South, and we're the kind of family that eats the whole pig. You're gonna find every piece of the pig in every meal. So we had pig feet, we had chitlins, which some people don't understand, but it's basically pig intestines, and they're kind of difficult to make. You gotta really clean them, or you're gonna be eating essentially pig shit. So you gotta clean them well. We eat chicken feet, which I recently saw someone post on Facebook saying they were like surprised that that was a thing, but we've been eating it for years, so I definitely think it's a cultural thing. Yeah, so I definitely enjoy things like that. My favorite has to be hog jaws, which is just the jaw of the pig, but it tastes like bacon, so it's just, you gotta get over the names of things like pig intestines. That's why we call it chitlins. Just put some hot sauce on it, it's good. But yeah, so my family is from the rural South, and that's kind of the things that we eat in our culture. All right, Christina, why do you think cooking is important?
I think cooking has a lot of different qualities that are very important to our lives. One thing that comes to mind when I think of cooking is like family bonding. So like every time I think of cooking, I like to go to my grandma's house and we cook like pies and all different things, especially at like the holidays. I think that's really important. And it's also important to different cultures. Like Mexican food is one of my favorite things, and I think that it's important that we have like a way to try all those different cultures, like soul food, Mexican food, Italian, and I think it's all great. So, yeah.
Cooking in college can get really complicated really fast. A lot of people think, moving off campus, I'll cook all the time. I'll have my own kitchen. I no longer have to carry my dishes and my food all the way down to the kitchen in our dorm. But in all honesty, it's not much easier. Your time does not magically extend because you're in an apartment. So being in apartment 25, we try to cook as much as we can. We bought a crock pot, we bought pots and pans, we bought so many utensils, although we're running out of forks. And we just haven't really had the opportunity to use it as much as I guess we would like to. So moving off campus and moving into apartment 25 hasn't really affected the amount of cooking that we do. We definitely cook a lot more than we did before in comparison to the dorm, but definitely not as much as we should. Just because we're college students, we don't have time, and I think that's such an important thing to note, that's pretty much the biggest reason why people don't cook nowadays is that time. Like, it's just not possible anymore. Like, we have things to do. I know in high school, I just couldn't do it. Like, I would get home around 9 o'clock every night. My mom would get home really late. I had sports, I had after-school activities, I had social life, and cooking was not important. So we definitely ate out a lot at home, and we eat out a lot now. First semester, I definitely ate cookout pretty much every day. But this semester, I've tried to do a lot better about cooking, and I hope to continue that into the future.
Am I the only one who wants to have fun tonight?